Okay, boys and girls, we've just finished doing long division using the base 10 materials. Now we're going to look at how we can do long division when we draw pictures. So we're going to solve our long division problem using pictures. Now today I'm just going to use pictures that basically represent what the base 10 look like, but you could use pictures of your choosing as long as you had a little legend. You could say that hundreds were stick figures, you could say that tens were stars, you could say that ones were circles, squares, whatever you want it to be, as long as you had a legend so that I know and you know what each of those things represent. Okay? But for today's lesson, we're just going to do pictures that basically represent what you know the base 10 materials look like. So for today, we're going to start working on this question. We have a divisor of 5, and we're going to have a dividend of 275. Okay, so just like before, each of these numbers tells us something. We want to create the 275 in pictures because that's how many we have all together that we're going to be splitting into how many equal groups? That's right, the divisor tells us we're going to split it into 5 equal groups. So what I'm going to do is just put my 5 equal groups off to the side here. You can make squares, circles, whatever it is that you like. I'm just going to draw my 5 here off to the side, and that's where we're going to put all of our pictures for each of our groups, okay, when we start dividing up this dividend. So just like before, we're going to divide this up. We're going to make this number, and we're going to put it here so that we know what we're going to divide up. So first of all, let's start with the hundreds. We have 200, so I'm just going to draw big squares as our hundreds flats. We have 7 tens, so I'm just going to use sticks for the tens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And for the ones, we have 5 ones. I'm just going to use dots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That makes it very simple. And when we're doing math pictures, we want it to be simple as possible. We don't want to make it too complicated. We want to have time to figure out the problem, not be drawing pictures. So now we have our 275 right here. So what are we going to do? Now we have to start with the hundreds and start breaking it up into our 5 equal groups. I heard somebody say, how do I do that? We only have 2 hundreds. I can't divide those up evenly into the 5 equal groups. You are correct. So what do we have to do? That's right, you guessed it. We have to take those 100 flats and we have to divide them up into tens. And we know that there are 10 tens in each of those 100 flats. So I'm just going to cross one of those out. I'm going to put my tens down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to do the same with the other one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 because they're no good to me the way they are. Now that they're in tens, I can divide them up. So how many tens are we working with all together? We've got 10 here and 10 here, that's 20. We've got 7 here, that's 27. Now, we're not going to put each one individually and start crossing them off because that's a lot of work and we know our 5 times table, so we shouldn't have to do that. So at this point, we're going to say, I know my 5 times table, so I have 27 tens. What can I multiply by 5 to get me as close as possible to 27 without going over? Knowing my 5 times tables, I know that 5 times 5 is 25. So knowing that, I can put 5 in each group, and how many will I have left over? That's right, I will have 2 left over. So if I have 5 in each of these groups, and I'll take 5 more, and 5 more. Okay, and there are my 2 left over. So I've divided those all into equal groups. Now I have my 2 tens left. What do I have to do with those? That's right, I have to break those up into ones, right? I can't use them like they are. There's only 2 of them. I can't divide those evenly up into 5 groups. So I'm going to break my tens up into ones. Now we know in each of those tens there are 10 ones. So here we go. I'm just going to cross this out and make my 10 ones down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And for the next one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There we go. So now I've got my tens turned into ones. I'm able to use them and break them up into groups. Again, my divisor is going to help me because I know I'm dividing it into 5 equal groups. I know this is the times table that I'm going to look at, and I know my times tables. So I have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 ones. What times 5 gives me 25? I know that 5 times 5 gives me 25, so I'm going to use what I know about my multiplication tables to help me sort those evenly into groups. So here we go. So I know 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's all of my 25 ones used up because 5 times 5 is 25. Now, just like in the base 10, we want to look back and check and make sure that our answer is correct. There's a couple of ways to do that. Like we did before, we can count them all up. So let's count with our 10s first. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 20, 30, 40, 50, 160, 170, 180, 190, 200, 210, 220, 230, 240, 250, 255, 260, 270, 250, 255, 260, 265. Let Ms. Cuvelier do that again. 255, 260, 265, 270, 275. We all make mistakes. You can see that even when I'm counting. Okay, so don't worry if you have to go back and do it a couple of times. Now, so we know we have 275. We know that's our answer. Another way I want to show you too, if you want to use multiplication to find out, you can use multiplication to find out if you have the right answer. So we're going to look at what's in each of the groups, okay, to know what we put on top here as our answer for our quotient. So we have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and 5. Okay, so we have 50, 5 tens, and we have 5 ones. That's our quotient. That's our answer to our division problem. We don't have any hundreds, so nothing goes in the hundreds place. Now, if we want to use what we have here to find out if we have the right answer, we can also go back and we can multiply. Okay, so you can multiply 55 times 5. So you multiply your quotient and your divisor, and you'll see if you get this, you also have the right answer. I mean, it's just as easy to count up, but you can see you can get confused just like I did a minute ago. 5 times 5 is 25. Put your 5 down, you're carrying over your 2. 5 times 5 is 25, plus the 2 is 27, and that's your 275. So your answer is 55. You've checked it both ways. You've done it by counting and also by using multiplication.